Yes. I like the button.
Thank you. So another candidate who shall not be named just released their plan for Medicare for All. I'm wondering what your reaction to that is and what your plan for healthcare is going to be and how that might differ from theirs.
So we have a Medicare for All plan that we're going to be releasing in detail next number of days now weeks, like it's around the corner. I was a little disappointed in the funding mechanism that Elizabeth has proposed, where it just seems like a little bit of like a retroactive, it's like, hey, I'm not going to tax the middle class. How are you going to pay for it? Ratchet up the wealth tax to extreme levels and then find some corporates that everyone dislikes and say like, we're going to like tax them. And I was like, wow, that seems like a little bit overly optimistic, particularly when I've already argued on the debate stage that a wealth tax is highly unlikely to actually generate anywhere near the revenue that she's projecting. And so to say that wealth tax will be effective at a 6% rate strikes me as even more unrealistically optimistic. And so the fact that was one of the primary funding mechanisms I found disappointing. And I think that other people who are looking at it, if they were clear-eyed about it, they would agree that that's somewhat unrealistic and optimistic.
I have a question about Medicare for All. So the Americans are very close version, and when you say you have the VAT to pay for the UBI, then they will ask you what's the upfront cost of your Medicare for All plan, and where is that money from?
Well, this to me is one of the giant sources of confusion on the entire Medicare for All healthcare debate. We are already spending almost $4 trillion on our healthcare, and it's baked into our costs in our economy at every single level. Like if I pay for something, I'm paying for healthcare somewhere in there because some of the executives at that company or the employers are getting healthcare and it's getting baked into the cost. Like we're already spending 18% of GDP on healthcare, and then everyone's like, how are you going to pay for it? How are you going to pay for it? What we're trying to do is we're trying to shift it from a burden that's on families and businesses that's causing all of these problems, and then shift it to the public ledger, at least in part. So it's not even new money being spent. It's just transferring the burden from families and businesses to the public sector. As someone who's run a company, if you had come to me and said that I wasn't going to have to worry about my employees' health care anymore, I would have jumped for joy. And if you told me, hey, the money you're spending on your employees' health care, you're going to give it to the government instead,
Then
I also would have jumped for joy.
Why Elizabeth Warren cannot use the same argument? Because she is constantly asked about this question, where do you get the money? And she has an upfront cost on her plan.
And the reason why she's not making this argument is because if you've only inhabited the public sector for your entire career, then when someone asks you how you're going to pay for it, you just think about the government's bottom line. So it's not on the government's bottom line now, it will be on the government's bottom line after. And so when someone asks you how you're going to pay for it, you say, oh, I do have to pay for it. If you think about it economy-wide, we're already spending the money on a personal level and a business level, and so it's really a transfer of accounts and reducing some of the rampant waste in the system. The lowest estimate I've seen about the level of waste in our healthcare system is 30%. Now, will the government be able to bring all that out? Of course not. But will the government be able to rationalize some of the costs? Yeah. Like I had a friend who's this genius about financial analysis, and she said that she has never seen price gouging, profiteering, and profit taking at the levels that she currently sees among the private insurance companies, the device manufacturers, and the drug companies.
Yes.
And so it's essentially a hidden tax on all of us. And so if you can get in there and just rationalize those costs, you can save a lot of money very quickly. I'm going to share one story that really struck me. I was with an inventor named Dean Kamen in New Hampshire. He invented the Segway. It's probably the most famous thing he's done. So he invented a portable dialysis machine so that if you need dialysis, you can actually have it in your home. It enhances your quality of life, and the results are astounding. So of course now portable dialysis is the norm, right? No, because the companies make $100 billion off of the inpatient dialysis centers that have very poor quality of life, so you have to go in there and then get hooked up. And so the lobbyists for those companies have gone and said, portable dialysis, dangerous. And so it costs us an extra $100 billion a year that could be saved, and it would be enhancing many, many people's lifestyles and outcomes. There are unfortunately stories like that throughout the system, where we are spending billions of dollars, there are companies profiting. When we go in and try and clean up some of this waste and mess, there's going to be a lot of pushback, but the money is 100% there in the system. And the fact that Elizabeth Warren is looking at adjusting the public ledger, to me is, I wish that she had a broader perspective, honestly.
Put the money in our hands. Put the money in our hands. The money in our hands. Put 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 the money in our hands.
Can we afford it? Yes. Will it cause inflation? No. Is it awesome? Yes. Is anyone trying to make it happen? Yeah, that guy.